John.
John only has one son.
Out here, this John.
Yeah, John Thomas. Louis. They only have one son.
They got one son, and then Danny.
Oh yeah, Danny. That's right. They got two sons.
Oh, I didn't even realize Danny had a brother.
Well,
Oh
he
yeah,
must be.
older brother.
How old are you? 53.
53.
This boy's older than you. This boy's probably 60, 61 or 62.
How old are your boys now?
59 and 58. See, it was only 16 months difference in them.
Charlie was 58 in February, and Charlie and Kirby's 59. He'll be 60 in October.
It goes quick, doesn't it?
Too quick.
It's amazing how fast it really goes.
Lights awful fast.
58 and 59.
When you're a kid and older people tell you life goes fast, you can't believe it.
Nancy was just here. She said to tell you and her and Kirby say hello.
Oh, very good. I'm glad. Yeah, I don't get to see them much, and either last 4th of July we happened to see Charlie and Julie out on the boat. Tommy Kaufman was with them, and we were on somebody else's boat and just happened to see them. Pulled up and watched the fireworks with them.
Tommy Kaufman's been in the water, but he could tell you something.
Yeah, he can tell you something anyway. So, I'm sorry, would you mind starting over about that new boat in '63?
Well, I had the boat built. It was actually built and finished in 1962. But we had a cold winter. And Mr. Man that built my name, Mr. O'Neill Jones, he put the boat up on shore, right in front of the building. I mean, it was small time what he did. I mean, he wasn't no big time factor or nothing like that. It was just, he built one boat at a time.
Almost like in his backyard shop.
No, the building wasn't in his yard. It was, he lived down the road from it. But it was right there on the corner, at Toddsville. Where the road goes 4 different ways. And he put the boat overboard after thawed out. And we come down there one Sunday and got, the first Sunday we went down there to get it, Mr. Jones had made a mistake. He had put the wrong wheel on. And we started the motor up and put her edge and went in reverse.
Oh no!
So we went back up and told him, and that week the weather was halfway decent. Luckily enough, the next Sunday was a good day, and we left there about 8 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Maybe a little later than that. And we sailed right up to Cabin Creek. That's right, Cabin Creek. And I had a brand new motor in there, Chrysler Crown. It was a Navy surplus. I bought it in Norfolk, Virginia.
Wow.
That boat cost $2,750.
Wow.
And the motor cost $650. And everything was brand new.
Ain't that
but
something,
the motor
man?
was Navy surplus.
But still.
It was still in the creek.
Wow.
And a lot of people were using them. A lot of them, like Dick Coleman, them, that Crab Pilot, they had them type of motors. They were cheaper motors. They didn't have the power like these big motors we got today.
Right.
But they still were. They were easy to work on because the starter and all was up on top. Where this motor I got now, 455 Oldsmobile, you have to be a magician to get underneath, get the starter.
The systems were simpler, weren't they?
Much simpler. Because it was Navy stuff.
Right.
Surplus Navy stuff. And they had to teach them boys mechanics and all. They taught some of them in a matter of a few weeks.
Sure.
But when we came into Cabin Creek, I never forget that. It was a pretty afternoon. I don't know what time it was. It was after the middle of the day. I know it must have been 2 o'clock or something like that. Maybe 3 o'clock. And people was on the shore, because they told me, some of them told me, that what is that boy going to do with that great big boat? And how much money did it cost? Where did he get all that money? I had enough money. I did borrow a little bit of money from the bank, but I had enough to pay. I didn't have any trouble getting paid for it.
Wow. How big was it?
42 foot 4 inches.
So there were a few boats around like that, but not many.
Very few. Dick Coleman had one. Newman Waters had one. Let's see, anybody else? Bill Schultz might have had one.
Wow.
I think Bill Schultz did have one too.
Cabin Creek was a busy landing back then.
I got a couple pictures of it. I'll show you.
Okay.
It's unbelievable.
Really?
Almost unbelievable. I got some more Cabin Creek too somewhere. I had to find it.
Was that one of the busiest landings around?
Well, no, the biggest landing around was Wells Cove.
Uh-huh.
And
Where exactly was that?
Wells Cove?
Yeah, where was the landing down there?
Right there where the road's at. I mean, where the
Is that where the jetty is?
where the jetty's at.
Gotcha.
Jetty, old man. Well, later on, Toady Porter, James Porter had a store there and a beer tavern. But before, from the jetty on around to the landing, see, they took the landing away from us.
Mm-hmm.
County did. Completely stole it away for our drums, sir.
Yep.
And we fussed and cussed about it, but it didn't do much good. You got to have somebody behind you when you do that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Definitely.
That boat that you bought down in Todsville, what was the name of that boat?
Well, I named it Irene
Now,
after her. I started naming a couple other names, then I said that was, but really, putting small names on boats was a good idea because you had to paint them, or could, and I really like to I like to paint them.
Right.
I could paint good enough that I could paint on them myself. After the first was done, it had to be done by somebody. I think I can't remember. Because see, the boat had to go in it had to either go in the state of Maryland. I didn't want the state of Maryland. Actually, by law, the boat's too big to go in the state of Maryland. People have them, but it's against law, really. It's supposed to go in the custom house.
Oh.
And it was advantage to have them in the custom house, especially back then, because you got some kind of halfway insurance and all from the federal government. But now you got nothing.
Right. Was that a crabbing boat and an oyster boat, or what did you do?
I run fishing parties.
That was your fishing party boat.
And an oyster in it too. Old man from Rock Hall told me, he said, son, if you're gonna get a big boat, have it so you can break her down and do anything in it.
Uh-huh. That makes sense, man.
Well, it did, because I've had a couple hundred moose oysters in that boat before. Seed oysters.
That's amazing, man.
But all I had to do was clean her up, put the canopy back on, and paint her up, ready to go fishing.
Right. So you ran fishing parties for a long time.
Over 40 years.
He's one of the ones out of Kent Air. His first one's white.
Was that one of the that's a lot different than actually crabbing or oystering, right? Like you were almost a host. You take people out charter fishing, is that?
Well, I never took a lot of them guys down and took what they call a head boat.
Right.
But I set the price. It was so much money if you took 2 head or 6 head.
Right.
He only took charters.
All right, so let's. I want to get a little biographical information, even though I know some.
I always had 2 boats. I had a small boat too. It was 26 foot long, and I brought her in Wingate. In 1957. 56 or 57.
What you use that one for?
Everything. Not fishing part.
Right.
Ocean, eel, crab, and everything. Because I didn't have to, like times, especially when I had the boat in Chrisfield and places like that, I didn't have to break it down to go oyster. I left it there and went oyster in a small boat.
That makes sense. How long did you keep those boats?
Still got that big boat.
Still got Irene?
Down there in the backyard.
Since 1963.
She's retired too.
She's
well, I could have fixed her up. I guess I got money. I don't know. It would cost a lot of money to fix her up. And then, at my age, it ain't worth it.
Over 50 years you've had that boat.
52 or 53.
That's amazing. Yep.
She could have been fixed up. But see, everybody was putting metal on their boat back 40 years ago, 35, 40 years ago. I made a lot of money with metal on her because it could run through a lot of ice.
Oh, like on the hull, they put metal all around the bottom.
But that metal, especially stainless steel metal, it helps to rot the wood.
Oh, yeah. There aren't too many wooden boats anymore, are there?
Well, there's still a lot of wooden boats. A lot of them
Work
now.
boats?
Yeah, there's still a lot of wooden boats. They ain't like they were.
Right.
But if people like Bryan Parks, O'Neill Jones, the man that built mine, was still living, and they could build boats like they built mine, you'd see a lot of wooden boats.
Right. People would.
Because they were master craft.
Right. They would have I bet they'd sell for tens of thousands of dollars.
Sell for a lot. Well, they can put this stuff on the outside of them now. You don't even have to paint them every year.
Right.
It's a form of what do you call it stuff? What they painted on. I can't think of the name of it now.
Like the synthetic.
Yeah, it's got a name, but I can't think what it is. And that I've used myself. It's a two-part mixture. You mix it up. I've used it myself on seat. What now? I say seat press. That's ventilation. What's that stuff called? But I've used it for a regular while. It's
Well, let's go back and start at the beginning a little bit. I want a little biographical information. When were you born, Charles?
December 26, 1932.
And where were you born?
On Marcia Creek. Well, you know where Skippy Hadaway lives?
Uh-huh.
Right in that house. Well, that's considered Marcia Creek, really.
Right.
Marcia Creek right behind it.
And how old were you when you first started working on the water?
Well, went with other people. Probably a couple people took me out during the war. When I was 11 and 12.
Took you out doing what?
Took me out calling oysters. And then Daddy come home in October of 1945. He was one of the first people to get out of service because he had, actually the day the war was over with, he had enough points to get out.
Wow.
Because he was 30, at the time the war was over with, he was 36 with 4 children. And they wanted to get rid of them people like him because the government was paying them too much money. They
Right.
wanted these young boys, you know. You didn't have to pay that much money. And they didn't want them. They were too old to start with. And he was only in for 2 years, but that was 2 years back then was a long time.
Sure.
During the war.
So was he a waterman?
Oh yeah.
Did he teach you? Was he your first mentor?
He taught me, and I listened to other people and taught myself. So I taught more.
When you say about taking out calling oysters, was he who took you out early on, or was it someone else?
Other people too.
Yeah, like who?
Especially during the war.
Right, When
he was gone.
Like who? Who do you remember?
Ernest Smith for one.
Ernest Smith?
Yeah, not the Ernest, the Reed Ernest, the one that was in the Marines.
Right.
The other Ernest. Let me see, somebody else too. I can't think.
From
Milton Pearson.
Milton Pearson. Were they both from Graysonville, like you?
Milton Pearson lived right across the road from us. He helped me a lot. Milton Pearson helped me a lot with stuff, telling me stuff, you know, showing me stuff.
Teaching you.
Yeah.
Because it is a business that if you weren't out and tried to learn it all on yourself, it would be almost impossible, right?
Like making eel pots. Dad had never done much crabbing because he did a little bit of it. But after Dad was a very good painter, excellent painter. And when the war season was over with, he had people all lined up to go paint. And sometimes he'd have enough to carry him till the 1st of August. Then I can remember a couple times we went around and shore soft crab for the whole month of August.
Wow.
Because he didn't have no more work. And once you run out, it was hard to get any more. But when the orchard season always didn't come in the first day of September. And plenty of people went out of orchard the first day of September, barely had enough money to put gas in the boat.
Wow.
A lot of people, because they worked hadn't made much money during the summer. If you haven't been through it, you don't have any idea what it was like. Really. People made a living. Everybody had a garden. People had hogs or two and chickens.
So there were some people who didn't do anything from during the summer.
Very few.
Right.
There were some people who never done a blessed thing. They might have went thrashing wheat or something like that.
Right.
Picking tomatoes. Stuff like that.
Kind of to spare work wherever they could pick it up.
Yeah. far as a job, no.
They were oystermen. When it came down to it, they were oystermen.
Actually, then the season come in the 1st September and went out the 15th of April. And before that, it went out the 25th. Now, I don't remember it went out the 25th of April, but I can remember I've oystered before when it went out the 15th of April. That's a long while. You know?
Yeah, that's as long as a teacher's year, you know, more or less.
But you have to take care of your money. If you made it all, you have to take care of it.
Were watermen generally good at that, or
maybe about 50% of it,
right,
or less.
So that's one of the negatives, that you couldn't count on income.
That's right. Some people craved, but it wasn't. Crabs weren't in demand like they are today. I mean, sometimes you couldn't even give them away.
Is that right?
And that's including salt crabs. And now they're bringing. I bought some last year and gave $40 for a dozen. Of course, they're nice big crabs.
But still, that's a big difference, isn't it? So the oyster market was what was really alive here then.
We had half a dozen. We had 12 oyster houses, 13 oyster houses in Kent and Ayers. Plus market boats come up. They'd come up, and anytime you see the market boat, you could figure on getting at least a quarter or more a bushel.
Where were they from?
Chrisfield, Southern Maryland, different places like that.
And of course, up here where we live, it was mostly hand tonging.
All hand tonging.
All hand tonging.
Yeah. Now drudges were out in the bay.
Right.
And a few patent tongs out in the bay, but generally you weren't allowed to in the inlet waters like Eastern Bay, Wide River, and Chester River. The only thing you were allowed to do was hand tongs. And that's why we had so many oysters, because that's all we done.
When did patent tonging become a thing? When did it start?
Well, it started. I don't know where it started. I've done it for part of a couple of years. Still got part of the rig down back.
Is that right?
But I didn't really like it. I wasn't crazy about patent tonging.
What didn't you like about it?
Well, I didn't come up with the machine age, and I didn't. You could actually hurt yourself with a patent tong rig.
You ever see anybody get hurt working out on the water?
No, can't say that.
Good.
People get sick.
You weren't out there, but when they started clamming, remember that clam, Miss Seltzer's boat?
I didn't see that. No, I think
didn't see
somebody
that?
claimed some place in Miss Seltzer got hurt.
Caught on fire.
Newton Pearson in 1953 or 54, he fell right into oyster pile and was dead as a doornail. He was only about 47 or 48.
What, while you were out there? Oh, you were, right.
I was in the Army then.
You were in the Army. But he was out there working.
They had opened the channel up. Hadn't been opened up for all during when they put the new road through. They shut the channel down. And a lot of oysters there, and it didn't use it. Wasn't open for about 3 or 4 years. And when they did open, it was a gravy train. Some of them were catching 75, 80, 90 bushel in there.
Right there.
What other boat would hold? And the packers wanted them because they were top of the line oysters. Always were. Channel oysters always were the very best.
Why do you think that?
A lot of tide in there.
Keeps them clean.
Tide has a lot to do with it. We didn't have the boats going through that now either.
Right.
Now it's just, well, you know how many boats go through that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So that was after they put the bridge up, the drawbridge up.
Yeah, and they put the roads, because they dug from, I can remember this very well, 1951, 52, from Kent and Ayers to near about the Hollies. There for a little while, it was just like a river. They had completely dug it out.
Oh, no kidding.
And then they filled it back in again.
Wow, filled that marshland back in. Where, like where the hotel and all that is?
They're not there. The hotel and all was on high land. Where the road's at.
Gotcha.
All the dual highway was there for a while. You could run those in a boat up there.
No kidding.
3 or 4 foot of water there.
Wow, man.
I was having flood there for a while, and they shut it off some kind of way, and then start dredging and filling it back in.
Right.
They claimed it was one of the better roads in the United States after they filled it. It must be because
still right.
They don't have that much trouble with that road, really.
Did you as a young man going out with other people and learning mostly oystering? When did you go out on your own? When's the first time you?
Well, I never went out on my own until after I come out of service. approximately 1956. After I bought that small boat. First boat I bought it from a man in what they call pot pie, Whitman.
Yep.
And he built a boat every year and then work into it, and then he'd sell it. Mr. A. His last name was A.
What was it?
His last name was A.
Ayan?
Elliot.
Elliot.
What's a Dorchester County name? A lot of people down with that name, but he lived in Pot Pie. That's on Harrison's Creek.
Uh-huh.
And I went down there that morning. Daddy went with me to look at it. And the boat was only about 6, 7 months old, and he was going to sell it. And I said, "How much you want for it?" It had an air-cooled motor. He said he wanted $550 for it. And we went down and looked at it, man. He said, "Go ahead, Dad, it's in the creek tied up to a stake." And we went down there and we got aboard and looked it over. And I said, "What do you think of this boat, Dad?" He said, "See that little bank up there?" He said, "You could roll this boat down that bank." She was that well built.
Wow.
She was that well built, you know. So I give him $50 down on it. Come down later on and paid it off.
Was that an oyster boat?
Anything you wanted? No, it wasn't big enough. It was 26 foot long.
Right.
It was a very good oyster boat.
Is that what you used it for at first?
Yeah, and then I run a lot of eel pots. I caught a lot of eels out for a while. That's how come I got to know so many people up and down the bay selling eels.
Right. Tell me about that. Tell me about eeling.
Well, I use pots. Everybody caught eels in the spring, but crabbing.
For bait?
For bait. But I caught most of mine in June and July in Chester River on what they call East Neck Island. You know what East Neck Island?
I do. Like south of Rock Hall there, right?
Yeah, right straight across from
Swords Point or
No. From Winchester Creek.
Gotcha,
Over
right.
to Cedar Point. That's where I used to start at. You could that ain't no more than 3 miles if it's 3 miles. But if you went over to if you left Winchester Creek and went to Cedar Point on East Neck Island, that's 40 miles.
Right, is that right?
Close to it. I think it is 40. Well, from here to Chestertown's what, 20?
Yeah.
Rock Hall's
Another 30, yeah.
It's in the neighborhood of 40 miles.
Yep. So you would, why go over there in June and July?
Catch them eels.
They'd be running up in there?
See, it was grass. It's 5 and 6 and 7 foot of water. It was so much grass. And if you didn't have a wheelless wheel on, you better stay out of there.
Is that right?
You went through it like that big boat I had. If you went in there with her, you'd had so much grass on, and the only way you could got it off would be get overboard and pull it off.
Get the heck out of here.
But a wheelless wheel, I bought it from Mr. Lim Thompson for $33. And I said, "Mr. Lim," I said, "that's a lot of money for that. $33 back in."
Sure.
But I made a lot of money with that wheel. Still on I sold the boat. I got rid of it.
So how many eel pots would you have?
Well, I usually run over there about 160 or 70. So I was catching 2 55-gallon drums a night.
So you ran them at night. You caught them at night.
Oh yeah, anything, fish, eel, anything that traps. Most of the edge of dark. That's when they really trap. They were feeding that grass. That grass was so much a protection for them. Rockfish and all that stuff couldn't get them down to eat them up.
Right.
And I used to get a lot of crack clams from Bill Harris. I bought an awful lot of them from Bill Harris. And the other man, what was his name? Best Yankee man I ever knew in my life was Bill